Okay, guys, Sam here with you on Friday, October 12th. Of course, if it's a Friday, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin here. So there's not been a lot of movement since the last video I did here where we outlined this range here that the market has pretty clearly carved out here, and you can see it's very consistent with the volume profile, right? So here we have market acceptance. So interestingly, point of control here, so this is visible range here, but you get the idea here. So we're sitting here, it's point of control smack dab in the middle of it. So, with regards to an Elliott count here, yes, I can get a count on this. This is the count this is my current, what I think is reasonable, and it all suggests pretty much the same thing I've been saying as we've reviewed Bitcoin now for several months, that we have so many unresolved algo plays that you'd be inclined to think the path of least resistance is going to continue to be lower. Right? So if let's just recap here for anyone who maybe hasn't seen this here. But so just to put it in context, so we've had swing, retrace to the 50. Double bottom, retrace to the golden zone, down we go. Then here it just continues on and on. Swing, retrace. I don't even have one. This one's not even in here yet. So swing, retrace, golden zone. We're just shy of the golden zone. There's so many of these that are unresolved down here. So let me bring these all up here. So this is a really fat pocket down here that would be. See, so I'm sitting here long of Bitcoin, right? And certainly want to see the market start to go like all of us do. But at this point here, I would actually rather see us come down here and get some resolution on one of these. I think that would actually be healthier for this market and would give us more confidence in a technical pivot. Right now, we're waffling sideways in this 700-point range. $700 range, really. So I would rather see us come down and tag one of these significant algo targets here. If you think about how many cells have been invested into all of these algo plays, right? We don't have to wonder what happened there. I still don't have them all in there. So you can see how many of these in a row. So you have a considerable amount of money that's invested here. Well, I should say, that's tied up into short sales. and so here, at least we get a cluster. And that's not a tiny range. So that's from 5,200 to 4,700. So a $500 range down here. But it would give us a target that gets resolved. Right now, it's just nothing but a lack of resolution at any degree. So path of least resistance, you would assume, remains lower to get to one of these targets. Now, I'd be first in line with my bullhorn if we got a break of one of them, a 65 here. This would be very significant here at 8,600. But we got a lot of work to do before we can confirm we've got a full-blown new bull trend underway. So it's going to start with the first break of a 65. So far, we have yet to have that. So you look at it and you try and put the pieces together and say, well, if it looks like it's going down, at least I could get some resolution down here. So if this is going to be some sort of, something like look how many, if we're going to get something along these lines, right? So some sort of bizarre triangle formation that we're in here, and we're going to come down here. We're going to, here. If we're coiling tighter, this would be the low end of the range. I want to see it resolve somewhere down here. So let's just use that as a potential target. So if that resolves here, and we've kind of lined this up in the context of where any prior resistance might be offering some support, you're hard pressed. Maybe you get some contraction here. If I can get this hot again, maybe you get some contraction here, so you get tighter and tighter and tighter, and eventually it's just the energy there's enough recoil here that we get this kind of a pop out of here. I'm fine with that, but we'd be lacking a technical pivot. So it makes it hard to lean into that as a hard low, as a good technical low, unless we get some resolution down here. So again, as someone sitting here long a lot of Bitcoin, I'm not dying to see it go lower, but I'd rather see us make a technical pivot down here so we could build the case for a new trend to get started. Now, how do we get there? So if I go from, let's go to, see if we can do it on the 60-minute. Come here. auto that. Yeah, apparently someone at my door. Okay, hang on a sec. Okay, all right, I'm back. So let's see if we can put a count together that would get us there. So let me take this off here. So currently, I think we've got, this is, of course, it's easy to lean into them now with hindsight, some sort of correction. I think there's a reasonable case to be made here that we've got an ABC. So I'm just going to clear up some of this here so we can see the chart a little better. So here's the trend line drawn from the tops, right? We all know that's there. So looking at this in terms of where we might be in finishing this, I think there's a reasonable case that we have an A, a B, and then we're seeking the C down here. So I'm just going to go with that target down here. So if we try and put that together as it relates to how an algo would be trading it, right? So here we come down. At least we'd get one of these resolving. Now we'd be outside of our range. We wouldn't be down to the big fat target down here. So you've got to look at that and say, okay, well, if we're going to get a 5 here, would that finish us? Well, of course it could. We'd be essentially, this would be, we'd be down here. So if I wicked off this low, we would at least, let's go down, this is our lowest low of this correction. We'd be in line with that. So we could make the case that we had a very large double bottom. Over here, that's just some prior resistance on the way up. So you see how we're trying to say, how does it get there? Well, I think this is reasonable now that we have a little more data here. I think we could make a case that we have 5 down here into this double bottom for an A wave. Then we've got an ABC. Now we don't get a new high in the C, but I think we've got a case here for an ABC. So A, ABC into the B, ABC into our C. So it looks like we've got an ABC. So this potentially sits here as a B wave here as we've come back and tested this range. It's suggesting that we have potentially now the ingredients here for some sort of a 5-wave structure to resolve this. So if I go, let me go down to the 30-minute here and we look at this. See how this looks and see if we can put together some targets. Right? So is there a trade here? Well, the only trades that are really here that are setting up are short sales, right? So that I'm not a fan of short selling in crypto, and I've explained why I don't like to do that, right? So here's it potentially now. So we'd have something like this. So if this is going to come down here, and we're going to do it in 5, we'd be looking for something along these lines to get us down here. So let me pull that. So with that established, so do we have the ingredients? Well, we've got a deep 2. We do have a 3-wave counter trend correction that's there. So we just start doing some measuring and say, well, if that's my wave, sorry, wrong one. If that's my 1, well, let's do some projecting. So from my 1 to my 2, well, here this puts me in my high probability zone for a 3rd down here. So a reasonable candidate. So then we look within this. So if this is 1, 2, well, I need to have 5 within that. So let me just go here and I say, well, that kind of looks like a pretty good 1, 2. Maybe the 3 is in. Maybe the 4 is yet to come. So let me get that. We'll go into yellow and get that down here. We'll go to submicro. Okay. So if we have that, so potentially now I have all the ingredients here for this 5 so we'd have 1, 2, we need to have an impulse in the 3, so we'd be looking for, if there's a little kick up here, of course we'd pay attention. So I guess we can take this off here. You get the idea. So I'm going to pay attention to my 1 low. Right, it's kind of potentially now resistance here. So not relative to this one, this impulse, it's relative to the larger 1, 2. So 1, 2, this one, well, I guess just good habit, right? So we've got our 1 of this potential impulse here sitting right on top of the point of control. So if we get this little kick, I guess this all has to move to get it to scale. So this would suggest a roadmap of how we can get down here and get some resolution. So one more push down here gives us our candidate for our 3. So let's just put it together. So we pull from the 2, assuming, right? So I'm hypothetical here. If we come down here and we pivot down here in that high probability zone and we come back for a 4. So what we'd be looking for coming out of that is some sort of a 3-wave counter trend, and then we're going to come down and finish like something like that. Now we're down here at a range where we're hitting some technical pivots that would make sense. We're approaching that prior low, so we can make the case for some sort of a double bottom to resolve this compressing triangle. So as I look at it here, the next opportunity for a trade would be the short, and these are very tradable, right? So if we're going to come in here and sell at the 50, trying to just a simple algo play here, that would be in sync with our Elliott count here. So we got a target down here. Let's go with the 1618. Well, there's 6 to 1. Nothing wrong with that, right? So you can be fairly clear on the stop here. You'd prefer to see that pivot hold it. So you can put a stop just on the other side of it here. You'd be just on the other side of the Vegas wave. You can give that, depends how much room you're comfortable giving. You want to give it to the other side of the 65. Well, look what you've done to your risk parameters. Now you're at 2.93. So I would tell you at a minimum. So if we get just a hair on it, just a hair over the 65, just beyond that, all right, then at least you get a hair over it. You got to get 3 to 1. So there's essentially 3 to 1. So you'd be just on the other side of the 65. You know, I don't love that, right? So that's a likely place where you'd find some resistance. So it's not ideal to have your stop sitting right at the point of control, but there it is. So anything less than that, we're either going to need more on the upside. So that's a judgment call you have to make. I would not want my stop sitting right at the point of control. It's a natural magnet for the market. So you'd have to give that a little more. And if we're going to hit the 1618, now you've reduced this to a 2.5 to 1. So maybe you'd have to be a little tighter on that. There you go. There you get 3 to 1. We bring this down to there it is, 3.2 to 1. Okay, so you got to be a little bit tighter on your entry. So you're looking for a push beyond, right? So well, let me take this off. So here's your one low. You'd prefer to see that. Now, of course, we could have a diagonal, but if this is going to finish as a 5, now we've got an impulse that's not consistent with a diagonal structure. So if this finishes down here, that makes a stronger case for the stop to not want to see this pivot violated here. So then we change to a diagonal, and this 5-wave structure does not suggest diagonal. So then you'd have to go back and look at this and say, well, do I have the count wrong? Am I wrong about where I'm defining this correction? Is this not the B? We'd have to revisit that if we get a break of this 1. So for the time being here, this is kind of a judgment call as to where you're looking to sell it and how much risk you're comfortable taking. But I would tell you keep it at 3 to 1. You know, try and find 3 to 1 in there, and that's a function of how much risk you're willing to accept there. But I'd want to have a reasonable target for that, right, to make the risk worthwhile. So just on the other side, you can probably just tee it up so you can get 3 to 1 there. So there's your next trade if you get this. Now, so let's say we get that. All right, so so you got one trade there. So you're going to come down here. Now, it's too soon to be thinking, oh, okay, well, the correction is complete, because all we've got now is this larger 1, 2, right? That would give us the 3. I'd be looking, I would not be a buyer off of that. I would not be a buyer. That's counter trend here. I'd be waiting for the 4, so you're going to get it again. So you got potential back-to-back trades here. So you could be over here if that's going to go down to target. Let's get this lined up. So you might even go for the bigger one down here. Now you've got 4 to 1. Let's look at the first one here. You'd have 3.5 to 1. So you've got the potential for 2 3 to 1 trades back to back. Now, if we get down here, I also would not suggest being a buyer down here. You don't need to pick the turn. Wait. If you get a technical pivot down here at this level, this essentially would be a double bottom of the larger degree. Wait until you get a clean 5 coming out of it. Right, can be a diagonal, doesn't have to be an impulse, right? You always like to see an impulse if you can get it, but if you get a clean 5-wave structure coming out of that, then you wait for the 2. So you wait for the A, B, C to set up, and then you buy the 2. So let's finish it here. So you'd have this like this, and you're buying the 2, looking for the big 3. Knowing that you can put your stop under this pivot, because if it breaks that, then you're wrong. Trade is wrong. You got to reconsider what could be going on. But as I look here in terms of where the next opportunities are, they continue to be on the short side. No buys until we get a clean 5 coming out of a technical pivot. Right? Ideally, you'd want to see a technical pivot. Then you have more confidence in the first motive wave and that first retrace. If it's in no man's land here, right, you really need to wait for more information, and I would use every tool at my disposal. So even down here on this level, I'd be drawing pitchforks. So if that's a 1 and if that's my 2, Well, maybe we catch the lower parallel down here for that 3. The upper parallel for the 4, back down to the median line. See how that starts to take advantage of some of that forward-looking component of median lines, in that you have this time element here that offers the market structure. Right? So, of course, now it's just a potential roadmap. That's all we've got here. Right? So it's just potential, but as you're looking at how this thing is going to resolve, and we're looking at I think it's 5 algo trades in a row on the short side. That's a lot of muscle invested in seeing the market go down to hit at least one of these targets. So if you make that assumption that we're going to go down and get one of them, well, how do you build the case, and how can we use the Elliott Wave to build that roadmap? Right? So, it's odds of it following this. It certainly may follow some sort of structure, but you at least want to have this built. You want to have a roadmap so that if it changes, if it breaks and disqualifies this as a candidate, well, then next count, right? So what could it be? It's first assumption always, well, if I'm wrong, what else could be going on? And where am I wrong? Here, I think this would be a big tell. If we break this, then this count is breaking down. All right, so that's what I see here. I know it's unusual time. It's crypto. So crypto Twitter certainly is in a deep depression. So everybody, you're almost to that point where you can start to feel the capitulation, where people are just going, "Oh, fuck crypto." It's just not happening, right? So maybe it happens down the road, but right now it's not happening, and I've got capital tied up in crypto, so there's the opportunity cost, unless you've been just short selling like a madman all the way down. Oh, good for you. But if not, right, people just start going, why am I sitting in crypto? Why am I tying up capital here? So you see money moving around. As that money moves around and you reach that point where people are just not paying attention to crypto, at least traders aren't. Right, the people building the infrastructure of the blockchain, that's full throttle. There's no change there just because we have depressed price. That's still happening, which is the encouraging piece of if you do a little research as to why there's still a very reasonable case to be made that eventually there will be another crypto bull, and will be far beyond what we've seen, what we saw at 20K. But that, God knows how many years that could be away. But at some point, reasonable. So I'm going to put it this way. So I've built an entire business around this, and I have no intention of selling any Bitcoin. So, if you're a believer, it's right. So here I am, long a Bitcoin, but I want the price to come down because I want resolution. Right now, we're just in no man's land. So unless you're a short seller, right, where there's plenty of opportunity, you're certainly not a good time to be a buyer, but plenty of opportunity as a short seller. So there we go. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap there because that's about as much as I can add until we get some resolution. Now, maybe Monday, maybe over the weekend. For over the weekend, this thing could boom, right? Who knows, right? We don't know. So all of it is just putting together a potential roadmap so that if it starts to follow, shit, man, I know exactly what's happening here. Look, there's an impulse wave. I've got a good 3, so that adds validity to this idea that this is our correction. We've got a 1-2. Oh, we hit the 1-6-1-8. What are we expecting next? Well, I'm looking for that 38. Oh, by the way, the 38's right here at your upper parallel to the median line. That's a reasonable trade right there. Shit, if it does that and it starts to turn, which is the highest probability zone for a 4 to turn, and we go down in 5, hey, maybe I've got some resolution down here. Well, I'm not going to just buy the turn because I know that I don't need to pick the turn. Plenty of opportunity to wait for this to come out. There's your next big long. But all of this has to happen. That could be next year before we see that. It could be next week. You just don't know. But this, so we look here and we say that could be, what kind of timeline? Oh, shit, I can't even see it. That would put us, certainly 2-3 weeks out in the future. So patience, right? So patient bulls, got to be patient, right? I would look for resolution lower. That actually will be more friendly to bulls, even though that sounds counterintuitive. But that's the reality here. At least that's how I see it, guys. So I'll be back with one more. I have some. One guy keeps hitting me up to get a TRX review here. So I'm going to do that here. That seems to at least have a few sparks of life lately. So I'll be back with that shortly. Other than that, I'll see you guys later.